If you're a woman in menopause, make sure you're not making one of these three, well, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but here goes. Three fatal mistakes that a vast majority of women are already making in menopause. These mistakes can, quite literally, kill you. I'm Steve Goldring, the hormone pharmacist from simplehormones.com. I've earned multiple certifications about hormone replacement therapy. Doctors trust me to help them teach their patients about menopause and hormones. As a pharmacist, I've talked with 3,000, maybe as many as 5,000 women about menopause. Just in the past 3 days, I got 12 emails from menopausal women. I had 2 face-to-face hormone coaching calls over Zoom, and I received 25 requests for a referral to a menopause specialist. All these conversations have given me a renewed sense of urgency. I really need to share this extremely important warning with you. So let's get to it. Mistake number 1, believing menopause is just about your symptoms. Menopause symptoms can be absolutely devastating. I've heard a lot of heartbreaking stories from so many women. They've literally brought me to tears sometimes. Hot flashes every 10 minutes, like in the middle of an important meeting at work. You start sweating profusely and turning beet red. Mortifying, embarrassing, humiliating. You just want to disappear or at least just leave the room. Night sweats. One woman told me she was getting them every night, all night long, from midnight until 7 a.m. Just as you're starting to drift back to sleep, along comes another one to jolt you awake, soak your nightgown, pop you up out of bed for the 4th or 5th time tonight. Vaginal dryness, painful intimacy, devastating so many marriages. Women tell me they've gained 5, 10, even 50 pounds after going into menopause. Pounds they just can't seem to lose, no matter how much they eat like a bird or exercise like a fiend. Sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night for months on end. These women are zombies. They can't find their keys. They can't find their car. They can't remember their kids' names. All because they're more sleep deprived than a Navy SEAL. Irritability and mood swings. Our son was maybe 15 when he said to my wife, "Mom, why are you so angry all the time?" That really cut her to the core. The symptoms of menopause are a big deal, but, and this is a very big but, the real problem in menopause isn't the hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness. It's not the weight gain, or even the way you just don't feel like yourself anymore. The real problem, the root problem in menopause, is something that opens you up to some very real and very dangerous long-term health risks. Alzheimer's or related brain diseases, heart disease or stroke, metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes and many complications. Later in this video, we'll circle back to talk about your risk for cancer in menopause. But first, let's look at mistake number 2, trusting your doctor when she says, "There's nothing we can do. You'll just have to deal with menopause." Bless her heart, she just doesn't know any better. It's not her fault. I read a study that said 20.3% of residents in family medicine had exactly 0 menopause lectures. Less than 7% of those residents felt adequately prepared to manage menopause. Another study surveyed OBGYN residents. 67% of those said they didn't actually understand hormone replacement therapy. Uninformed healthcare providers continue to tell women things like hormones increase your risk for breast cancer, blood clots, heart attacks, and stroke. You should only take hormones at the lowest possible dose for the shortest possible length of time. Hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, should really only be used to treat hot flashes. Ignorance on the part of well-meaning providers means that a lot of women are devastated in menopause. These women email me, like I said, 12 in the last 3 days. They make comments on my YouTube videos every day. They believed what their doctor told them. There's nothing we can do for you. Because the vast majority of healthcare providers don't understand menopause and hormones, they're perpetuating 2 myths that are 100% false. Number 1, menopause is all about the symptoms. Remember mistake number 1? Well, it's not just about the symptoms. And number 2, there's nothing we can do. Well, maybe that second statement might be reframed into something like, there's nothing we can do except give you an antidepressant or a sleeping pill and have you wait out menopause for 7 to 10 years. That's exactly what my next door neighbor heard from her doctor a couple months ago. Let's take a look at the single biggest mistake I see women in menopause making. This is the mistake that has the most devastating impact on your long-term health as well as your menopause symptoms. Mistake number 3 is looking for a solution to your menopause miseries anywhere and everywhere except in hormone replacement therapy. Maybe you've heard some variation on this statement. HRT might be helpful for some women in menopause, but it's not for every woman. If I've heard that statement once, I've heard it 1,000 times. But underneath that statement is the implied idea that, well, we know hormones are dangerous, so HRT is probably not right for most women. Well, maybe you've tried things like supplements or herbs or dietary changes, low carb, low fat, vegan, carnivore, cutting out wine and chocolate and spicy foods, exercise like yoga or HIIT or Zumba, lifestyle changes, dressing in layers, oh my gosh, turning down the thermostat, meditation, antidepressants, sleeping pills, any number of prescription drugs. Well, as old Dr. Phil used to say, how's that working for you? What I've heard from a lot of women who contact me is not so well. The root problem in menopause, as I said, isn't the hot flashes, weight gain, insomnia, or mood swings. The root problem is also not a lack of herbs or a vitamin deficiency or eating too much spicy foods or not exercising enough. The root problem is certainly not a Paxil deficiency. The root problem in menopause is the loss of your hormones. When you go into menopause, your ovaries basically shut down. The factories that used to make estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, and other hormones, they're basically out of business. You may be able to get a tiny amount of maybe some of those hormones, but I'm talking about 2% of what your body needs. Basically not nearly enough to keep any of your symptoms away for the most part. But the more devastating thing about the loss of your hormones is that that is exactly the reason why you're facing a huge increase in your long-term health risks. The loss of just one of those hormones, estradiol alone, increases your risks for Alzheimer's disease, for heart attacks, strokes, and other forms of heart disease, for osteoporosis, which leads to broken bones and surgery and nursing homes, and in many cases, death. Insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes are much more common in women with low estradiol. There is one more disease that's a major risk as you move into menopause that I haven't really talked about. Cancer is something that is a major problem. But did you know that breast cancer risk actually increases as women lose their hormones? I can't really cover breast cancer risk in this video. It's too big of a topic. But I spend a lot of my teaching explaining how hormone replacement therapy does not increase your risk for breast cancer. Don't make these 3 possibly fatal menopause mistakes. And I do mean mistakes that can literally cause your death. Number 1, recognize that menopause is not only about your symptoms. It's also about the huge increases in your long-term health risks. Number 2, don't take your doctor's word for it when she says, there's nothing we can do. Number 3, understand that the root problem in menopause is the loss of your hormones. Unless you address the loss of your hormones in menopause, you'll never experience freedom from menopause symptoms, the reduction of those long-term health risks, or even the ability to feel like yourself again, the way you used to feel. But I'm also going to ask you to do 2 other things. First, I want you to make your HRT decision. Maybe you've heard or read all sorts of negative stuff about hormones for menopause. Maybe your own doctor has scared you about HRT, or you've heard horror stories about risks for breast cancer and heart attacks and strokes. Maybe you're just not sure about this whole hormone thing. Well, I've created a digital course called the Menopause Solution specifically for you. That course contains over 40 short, easy to understand videos that help you answer one simple question, or at least it seems like a simple question on the surface. That question is, should I take hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for my menopause symptoms or not? The goal of the Menopause Solution is to help you answer that question in about 2 hours, more or less. The Menopause Solution is structured around 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is searches. What are women actually asking Dr. Google about menopause and hormone replacement therapy? What answers should they be getting? But they're not, because Google is kind of biased against hormones. Pillar number 2, stories. Real women share their stories about menopause and HRT to help you understand 2 things. Number 1, you're not alone. And number 2, there is hope. Pillar number 3 is all about studies. What does the evidence in the medical literature actually say about hormones and menopause? I can guarantee that you'll be surprised by some of the answers to that question, especially the evidence around hormones and breast cancer. Your doctor, bless her heart, doesn't even know most of this. This course helps you learn all you need to know about HRT and breast cancer risk and heart disease risk and so many other things that women have questions about. To learn all the details about the Menopause Solution, visit my website at simplehormones.com/decision. For a limited time, I'm including a couple of extra valuable bonuses when you enroll in the course. I can't wait to see you on the inside of the course. We've just got so much to cover. The second thing I'd love for you to do is take a look for a healthcare provider who really knows what they're doing with hormones. Somebody who has the training, the experience, and the expertise to know exactly what to do with your hormones. Somebody who knows how to evaluate all your long-term health risks and help you both eliminate your symptoms and reduce your risks at the same time. I've set up a system that I call my Hormone Provider Database. It's a listing for hundreds of providers all over the US, Canada, I have a few in other countries. These are providers who've been through some extra training about hormones and hormone optimization. I know a lot of them personally. If you visit my website at simplehormones.com/referral, you can fill out my referral request form. Once you submit that form, you'll get on my email list to receive lots of valuable menopause-related information. I'll also check my database to see if I have any of those hormone specialists in your area. I can't guarantee anything, but I'll do my best. If this video has been helpful at all, click the like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to ding that little notify bell to get a notification anytime I post a new video. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share this video with your friends and your followers on social media, over email, by carrier pigeon or smoke signal. I don't care how you share it. I just want to get the word out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll really look forward to talking with you again next time.